Hello everybody, this is Beatrice, and I'm here today to react to spectacular Nickelodeon's Camp Rock ripoff by Mr. Nostalgia. Well, let's see how this goes.
Nickelodeon. It's got some trash movies, bro.
He does.
Nah, I'm serious. I'm struggling to figure out how to start this one. And I don't want to start every video about a Nickelodeon original movie with a statement about how nobody cares about Nickelodeon original movies, but it's kind of true, I guess, besides stuff like Rags and Swindle. I mean, what do you want me to say exactly about Spectacular? It's not a cult classic, it's not even a regular classic. It wasn't a hit, but it also wasn't a movie that everyone just collectively hated, because a lot of people probably don't even remember its existence. Truth is, I don't know what people think about Spectacular, but I guess we're gonna find out, because that's what today's video is about. As far as
tonight at 8, don't miss the world premiere of the brand new movie Spectacular, and stay tuned for a special announcement from the 2009 Kids' Choice Awards. We'll be right back.
Spectacular premiered on Nickelodeon on February 16th, 2009. I feel like this was supposed to be Nickelodeon's big answer to High School Musical, and because of that, the rollout for this movie was pretty insane. First weekend of February 14th, which was President's Day weekend, Nickelodeon held this thing called Spectacular President's Day weekend that was hosted by iCarly's Veronica Cosgrove and Dave Archuleta. But like, none of the programming that weekend actually had anything to do with Spectacular. Matter of fact, that Sunday was something called Crush Night, where David and Miranda would answer fancy-witty questions straight from the Nickelodeon website, ranging from various topics like dating.
This one's for both of us. Vinny Boy asked, being celebrities, do you think it's easier or harder to find a date?
I think it's harder to find a date.
I think it's harder to...
Yeah, because it's like everyone thinks they already know who you are and they're trying to like make a good impression on you.
Yeah,
so they don't really ask themselves.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Okay, we'll be back with more Crunch Night, part of Spectacular President's Day weekend.
This all led, of course, to the premiere of Spectacular.
Well, I gotta find promos for
film
them.
that stars
And
Victoria
the book's
Justice
doing that, obviously.
and a bunch of random people. I mean, respectfully, but Nolan Gerard Funk? Who? Tammin Sursock? Simon Curtis? That name sounds like someone who should be a character in the movie, not an actual person's real name. You know what? Let me stop making jokes about these people, because what's gonna happen is I'm gonna get that one commenter that's mad at me for not recognizing one of these people from some CW show I've never heard.
True.
Hey, wait, Jean-Luc Bilodeau is in this movie? Ain't seen him since the Best Player video. What's up, baby daddy? Oh snap! Ivan Jogi is in this joint. We got Beckett here. Okay. A little Victorious prequel, I guess. That's sick. How about that? Alright, let me actually start talking about this movie. Nico Alexander, played by Nolan Gerard Funk, is a rising music star with a lot of upside. He's got the looks, the talent, and the voice. The only problem, though, is that he's a bit of an egomaniac that only really cares about himself. And his self-centered attitude is ultimately what gets him kicked out of his band, Flux, after knocking down...
Oh, now I get why he said it was a Camp Rock ripoff. I'm already seeing it. Are y'all seeing it?
destroying one of the amps at the nightclub for dramatic effect. He also ended up getting dumped by his girlfriend Amy in the same scene. It actually really felt like that one scene from Spider-Man 2 when MJ gets mad at Peter, and Peter tries to take a sip of his drink but it was actually empty, and then he gets slapped by his best friend, and then it gets announced that MJ has agreed to get married by John Jameson. Tragic scene, seriously. Fantastic movie. Nico's entire world was crumbling before his very eyes, and that's when Courtney Lane, played by Tammin Sursock, approaches him. Courtney saw the whole thing, and she was even in the nightclub when
I feel like I've seen her.
Courtney is the leader of a high school
either
show
show
called
or movie.
Spectacular, who just launched
Can't
their lead
remember
singer.
what it's called, though.
So, her purpose of being there is to try to convince Nico to join their choir, but Nico says no. However, she recommends that before he makes his decision, he should check out their performance at the town's carnival. Despite saying no earlier, he does end up going to the carnival to check them out as they are performing Eye of the Tiger by Survivor. Yeah, these guys are lame. When I watched this movie with my friend recently, he made a comment about how he couldn't understand a single word that this dude right here was saying, and at first I thought it was just because of the audio quality since we were doing it over Zoom, but like no, I legit have no idea what he just said. After
What?
the video performance, Courtney
Dude, you are not wrong. Even I didn't understand what the heck he said. And trust me, I have understood many characters that babble so fast, you couldn't be able to make a word what they said. But then I slowly think about it and I'm like, oh, so that's what they said. Okay, I understand that. But, dude, I have no idea what the heck he just said. All I heard was like runner up. That is it. That is it. I heard like runner up. I don't even know if that was the right word.
He again tries to convince Nico to see the talent in her group and to join them so they can win the national contest. But while the two are talking, we're introduced to Spectacular's competitor show choir group, Tada. Like as in...
Ta-da.
Their lead singer, Roy, is played by Simon Curtis, used to be a part of Spectacular, so Tammy, played by Victoria Justice, recruited him over to Tada. Even after meeting the gang and being offered half of the
Victoria
prize
Justice
money,
is
Nico
in this
denies her
movie,
offer.
okay?
So I think now might be a good time to point out that despite the characters all being in high school for the most part, literally every person here is played by someone that is at least 20 years old. That is of course besides Victoria Justice.
Of course they're played by somebody who's at least 20 years old. That is how every freaking show works. Like, listen, high schoolers are not played by high schoolers as often. Sometimes they are, but most of the time they are not. Like, they are at least like either 18 or at least in their 20s or so. Like, the amount of times when I looked up a show and I figured out that the actor who I thought was actually a high school student, they actually were like in their 20s or so. And I was like, wait, really? They do not look like it at all. Like, sometimes you can tell, like, if they're still young looking, you're like, maybe they're like at least high school age, maybe in their 20s or so, and sometimes you can believe it, but other times it's very obvious that they are older than they play it out to be. But sometimes they really fool me. Like, I will not tell you the amount of times when I was surprised that my favorite Disney star or Nickelodeon star was like 20 or 30 years old when they were playing the role of a certain character that I liked. I was surprised by that because I swear these actors do not look like they age. Like China Emma Clay, for the longest time, I swear I barely could tell she aged. I barely could tell that woman age. Amazing singer and an amazing musician. But let me tell you, each time I saw her, I was like, this woman barely looked like she aged. How did she do it? How do these actors do it? I swear, they must have like some kind of genetic gene or something that makes them look like you could not tell they aged a bit.
Justice, Nickelodeon was trying to promote as their next big star post Zoe 101.
Victoria Justice is getting her very own night.
How great am I?
Hurry Victoria, a whole night with Victoria Justice, Saturday starting at 6 on Nick.
Nola was 21, Cameron was 24, and Simon was also 21. Victoria, though, was 15, and her character was in a relationship with the character that Simon Curtis played in the movie. And that same character is the ex of Cameron's character, Courtney. So to me, it's just kind of funny that they got two girls that were nearly 10 years apart from each other to play not only the same age, but to have them also be romantically involved with the same person. But unfortunately, stuff like that was pretty common back then because the same thing happened in Starstruck and countless other children's films. Another common trope that happened in these kind of movies is having at least one of the characters live in a single-parent household. Spectacular, though, was an interesting case because Nico doesn't live with either of his parents. Instead, he lives with his older brother Stavros. And Stavros isn't very supportive of Nico's attempt to make a living in music.
Get me out of the band. Yes!
Dude, relax. Despite his brother's pessimism, Nico managed to arrange a meeting with Rich Dickinson, a major music producer in the area. He tells Nico that he's good, but he says that if he wants a shot at signing a record label, he needs to raise enough money to record his demo. Clearly, since Nico doesn't have a job, he doesn't have enough money to pay for it. But, remembering what Courtney told him earlier about offering him half of the prize money, he agrees to join their show choir.
Yeah.
The only issue is, the members of the choir are hesitant to let him in due to his attitude, but to show him that he's worth it, he starts singing the call called Break My Heart. I probably can't play any of this song due to copyright, but I will say it is pretty good. The music in this movie in general was actually surprisingly solid, one of the few good things about it. The scene it's attached to in general, though, is pretty trash. Like, this dude is just grabbing her, spitting her, and I mean, I guess it worked, because towards the end she seemed kind of into it, but I do not recommend trying this at home. After this dude sings and dances for like 3 minutes, Courtney lets him in the show choir, but then immediately says that he has to learn how to dance in order to get in. So then in the next scene, we have to watch this dude learn how to dance, like he didn't just put on a whole show like 2 seconds ago. Together, the group has their first performance at the same club that Nico's old band Flex performed at, while dressed in ridiculous cowboy costumes due to them being sponsored by a local restaurant. Turns out, though, Tada is also there, and their talents are on full display. These guys are good, great actually, for a show choir, I guess. After finding out that Royce is Courtney's ex, and noticing Tada's snobby attitudes, Nico is now determined to take them down more than ever.
You're watching the Nickelodeon original movie, Spectacular. We'll be right back.
Grammarly Business
Oh, if
features the
only
same
I had
premium
watched
writing
it back
suggestions of
then.
millions of individuals.
You know, guys, I gotta be honest. I watched like literally none of the original Nickelodeon shows while they were running. I just kept watching them on demand. Y'all remember on demand when y'all were watching cable? Like, I would watch all kinds of shows on Nickelodeon on demand, and I was barely watching it while the show was running. I catch many movies. Like Swindle, I didn't even watch that while it was airing. I did watch that during like the weekend while they were showing it on cable. I did watch it then. Jinx, I don't think I watched that while that was airing. I think I just started while I have Paramount Plus. What's another movie that I probably... Oh, Rags. Rags I definitely won't... I probably didn't watch that when it first came out, but I definitely did watch it while it still was running on cable on Nickelodeon a lot. I watched it enough times to which I remember stuff line by line, quote by quote. I still am humming the songs to this day. I follow my dreams. You think they were nightmares, the way I scream. I'll make them believe that someday I'm gonna be the next big thing. Yeah. Don't you dare think I don't know Rags. Because Rags was the #1 Nickelodeon movie for me. Actually, I'm pretty sure it was the only original Nickelodeon movie for me. The most Nickelodeon movies I watched were animated. Like Rugrats the movie, SpongeBob SquarePants the movie, what's another movie? What was the crossover with the Wild Thornberrys movie? Yeah, the Wild Thornberrys movie. That was one of my favorites because I'm a big animal lover. So I love the Wild Thornberrys. I also like Wild Kratts. Y'all know about Wild Kratts? Or used to know about Wild Kratts when you were little? Yeah, it's still running. I still cannot believe that show is still running. Crazy. Crazy.
You're watching the Nickelodeon original movie, Spectacular. Now, back to the show.
Because of this newfound determination to take down the group, the next day Nico tries to start a show choir meeting without their leader Courtney to rid them of the bad practices and habits that she was instilling onto them. He He wanted to make things less strict and more fun, because at the end of the day, if you're not having fun with what you're doing, you shouldn't even bother doing it. Which is the message of the song that he sings to the choir group called Your Own Way. I don't know if it's just me, but it was kind of hard for me to read this scene. And what I mean is, the way Nico is dancing around, singing about why you should do things your own way and not worry about what other people think about you, feels like something that he would have made fun of earlier in the movie. So is this scene showing that he has had a change of heart and has already went through some character development? Or is this just him trying to do his best to make sure that the group wins the national contest? Or perhaps it's a bit of both. By this new style of rehearsing, the characters are learning things about themselves that they did not know before, and everyone seems to really be into thinking outside the box, including the music teacher, who you'd think would have had a bigger role in the movie so far, but trust me, there's a crazy twist with this character later on. Courtney walks in, and instead of telling her what they were doing, the gang decides to keep it on the down low, which, as you could probably guess, causes tension later. They start holding secret rooftop training sessions behind both Courtney and Stavros' backs, and everything is going really smoothly. But when the montage cuts to Courtney's training sessions, you can tell the members of the choir aren't necessarily driving music her way. Nico and Courtney walk toward the bowling alley that the gang always play at the week before they have a competition. A tradition that started with Courtney's dad before he presumably passed away. There was a huge wasted opportunity in this scene though. With Courtney opening up about her dad passing away, they should have had Nico talk about whatever happened to his parents, since presumably they aren't alive anymore either. Us, as the audience, still has no idea what happened to his parents, so it would have been harder for us to find out what happened to his parents the same time that Courtney did. It would have started a three-way connection between us, Nico, and Courtney.
Sure. But too many times in Nickelodeon and Disney shows, they don't always say what happened to the parent. Like, I think they give like one of the examples I could give is like in Hannah Montana. I'm pretty sure they don't exactly say what happened to Miley and Jackson's mother. I don't think they fully say what happened. I think she I think she died young of like an illness or something. But I'm gonna have to rewatch the series in order to figure that out, because I don't think they fully say what happened to the mother. I don't think they fully say what happened to the mother. So as far as I know, I don't know. But yeah, that's one of the examples. That's one of the examples of like they not explicitly saying what happened to like one of the parents. So, like I said, I could be wrong. They probably did say what happened to it. What happened to her, and I just don't fully remember. But that's just one of the examples I can think of.
Now, Nico and Courtney have something to bond over. We not only have a new level of appreciation for Nico, but also a reason to want these characters to end up together, instead of just, oh, well, they're the two main characters. They kind of have to end up with each other. It would have also made the scene immediately after, where they're singing the duet together, so much more impactful. Oh my gosh! I don't even care about romance stuff, but you guys had a layup right there and you missed it. Wait. There's even a part while they're singing together where they show flashbacks from every encounter they've had with each other up until this point. Dude, just hand me the keys, bruh. I can make this movie so much better. Let me reboot it, Nickelodeon. I'll cast, let's see, who's on Nickelodeon right now? I'll cast young Dylan as Nico. Now, let me stop. Nico takes Courtney to his rooftop to show her what the group has been working on this whole time. Despite the group putting on a really good performance, Courtney is not a big fan.
Did your new leader neglect to tell you that the only reason he joined is because I promised him half the prize money? Congratulations, Nico. You stole my dream.
So, yeah, we've reached that point of the movie. And I'm not sure who I'm exactly supposed to be upset at. Nico was a jerk in the beginning of the movie, but he has since redeemed himself. From our perspective, it seemed like he had kind of forgotten about the prize money and instead was genuinely interested in helping these guys beat the dog. Courtney, on the other hand, didn't realize this, so I also get why she's upset.
That is true.
But she's the one that wanted him to join to begin with, so they could win the competition. So you kind of brought this upon yourself. You knew, at least at the time, that his heart was not fully in it. I'm really in the middle right now. No Malcolm. I'm not quite sure what exactly to think or whose side to be on.
That is true. Who said
Sorry,
should
I'm
be?
still laughing at young Dylan and Nico. That was comedic gold right there.
You're watching Spectacular President's Day Weekend on Nick. We'll be right back. Now, back to Spectacular President's Day Weekend on Nick.
Okay, shortest intermission ever. I just wanted to ask something. So, I actually have the airing of the world premiere of Spectacular on my computer with the original commercials.
Cool.
And during one of the commercial breaks, they advertised this thing called the Kids' Choice Awards 2009 Sweepstakes, where you could win 4 tickets for the KCAs and live in a fancy hotel in Los Angeles.
Oh.
Did anybody win this? I'm like legitimately curious. Please tell me in the comments. Alright, back to the video. Courtney goes home and finds Roy sitting at her doorstep.
What was our song?
It's a little late to be feeling nostalgia.
Hey, that's just rude. Nico pulls up to Courtney's house to apologize and almost gets into a fight with Royce. Royce leaves, but not before telling him that Tada will destroy Spectacular in the competition.
Yeah, that was the weirdest trash talk I've ever heard.
Nico and Courtney apologize to each other and realize they were both wrong. So they decide to let their powers combine and mix both of their talents together to create the ultimate show choir experience. An experience that is truly spectacular.
See, I was waiting for that moment.
They pitch their ideas
the
to the
frick
rest of the
was
group,
that?
but they aren't really feeling it, so they leave.
Hi, can have fun.
Oh no. Oh no. No, 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 no. No.
Please stop. I beg of
Their
you.
music teacher
Whatever the
says they
heck
can
that
perform a
was,
song
don't
with
ever do
based
that
on something
again.
to believe in, and he can get the song cleared in time for the competition because he grew up with the band. So, the group continues their training and preparation for the event through another montage. But, things take a turn when Mr. Dickinson, the music producer from earlier, is now forced to sign a new artist by his higher-ups. So, remembering about Nico, he goes over to his apartment and tells him that he doesn't need the demo at all anymore, and that he can audition right in front of the label owner, Mr. Gage. But, he not only has to use his old band, but the night he auditions is the same night that he has to perform in a competition.
Of course.
Spectacular.
For dramatic
See,
effect.
he never actually told his brother that he joined the show choir. So, he explained his cowboy outfit as him getting a job, and the kids coming over every night as a study group. He tries to tell his brother and Mr. Dickinson that he can't audition that night because he has to work, but his brother tells him that it's important that he auditions instead because of what it can mean for his career. It's important to note that the only reason Stavros had a change of heart is because of the money involved in his first deal. So now, Nico has to decide on how he's going to handle things. Later, Nico's ex-girlfriend swings by the apartment to pick up Nico from rehearsal, since he's using his old band again. She tells Stavros about what Nico has really been up to this whole time. The only reason why she knows this is because earlier in the movie, Nico and company ran into Flux while dressed in his outfit. They go to the school and bust Nico, exposing that instead of performing at the competition, he instead will be performing for the CEO of the record company, Apex. Everyone is hurt by his actions, especially Courtney. We then cut to this weird scene that I felt at the time wasn't really earned. There's this heart-to-heart combo between Mr. Romano, the music teacher, and Nico. The reason why I felt this scene was weird was because these characters hardly interact with each other the entire movie. So like, why is Mr. Romano reaching out to him now? And why should Nico even listen to him? What common ground do these characters even have? Turns out, he is actually Joey Rome. Don't look him up, he's not a real person. Joey Rome in the Spectacular universe is a member of the band Herringbone, which I guess is like a huge deal because Nico starts freaking out when he finds out. He's giving him all this advice because he knows what it's like to be at the top and then below it. Oh, maybe next guy should talk to John Moran. So he's basically telling Nico to just follow his heart. I gotta say, the dude who they got to play the Joey Rome character was excellently cast because that dude really does look like an ex-musician. The next day, while Nico and his band are loading their stuff into the car, Courtney goes up to Nico and asks if they could talk for a bit.
Did you actually make it quick?
I can't handle this, Amy. Thanks.
I hate this girl so much. She kisses him goodbye, I guess, and the band leaves. This movie takes place in Washington?
You're ahead of us?
Oh,
You better do your
Washington.
hair and makeup, right? I've done my hair and makeup.
I know I mentioned this before, but the fact that they're trying to pass these two off as the same age is absolutely hilarious. Royce got two love interests in this movie, and the actors playing them are separated by a good 10 years. I hope the casting director got fired. Nico is performing for the Apex CEO, who we don't actually see. All that's shown to us is his hand. The suit trying to be Mr. Tipton so bad, Nico isn't himself while performing, and admits that his heart just isn't in the music right now. So he tells them to allow him to show them where his heart is. Back at the theater, Tada is performing, and
I wish I could tell y'all what's on my mind right now, but y'all gonna think I'm mean.
also I'm pretty sure the music teacher and Courtney's mom are gonna date them. Spectacular has one last huddle before it's their turn to get on stage.
Let's just have fun out there, okay?
Yeah, that's right. Win, lose or draw, man, just keep having fun, alright? They get out there and things are going alright. But then, Nico somehow smoke bombs himself on stage and makes an insane entrance with his band to the sides of him and the record people watching above. I don't know, it's kind of hard for me to describe scenes like this where they're just dancing because they do it for several minutes. But they're doing a good job though. Am I tripping or are none of these people wearing mics? How are they projecting their voices right now? Nico manages to direct the
Dude, you
spotlight
just
to
gotta
Joey
ignore
Rowe,
that kind of
and he
stuff,
starts
because there are
striking
too
up
many
with
times
guitar.
where I
Then we
watch
get
the
Nico's
show and they're
ex-girlfriend
not wearing
Amy, and
mics,
she took his bill
and somehow
that
they're
totally killed
producing
it.
music.
And the
Like,
gang
I'm
finishes
kidding.
their performance with the jazz hands, and everyone takes a bow. Yay, the movie's over! Yay. Oh wait, there's more?
Yes, there's
So,
more.
because of the fact that Spectacular had help from people who weren't registered to perform, like Nico and Joy Rome, they got disqualified. Which means Tada takes the trophy home, unfortunately. But Spectacular is still in good spirits, because they still feel like they were the best. Royce ends up getting dumped by Tammy, which is a W. But an even bigger W is Nico and Flux going home with a big, fat recording contract. The band celebrates, Nico and Courtney kiss, and the movie ends with Flux, Joey Rome, and the members of Spectacular forming a super band, I guess. An interesting way to wrap up the story. I honestly was kind of expecting them to do the whole good guys win, bad guys lose thing that we see all the time for movies like this. But instead, we actually got an ending where the good guys lost, but still won, and the bad guys won, but still lost. I like it.
I like it too.
Yo, so before I summarize my thoughts real quick, directly after the movie ended, they did this tie-in promo with Penguins of Madagascar to help promote the show. And I don't know if any of you remember this, but it kind of blew my mind because I was not expecting the movie to fade out and lead directly into Skipper the Penguin talking about the film. That was crazy. It was honestly the best thing about this movie.
Don't miss another chance to see this rebel. First rule of Nico's rooftop, there are no rules. Become a rock star. It's your time now. In the Nickelodeon original movie, Spectacular. You catch it again Friday night at 8, only on Nick.
Your product looks great on the shelf.
To be transparent with you, I actually don't think Spectacular was all that bad. I'm serious. Like, I wouldn't classify this movie as good necessarily, but it wasn't bad either. The story I thought was pretty compelling. It's one of the only movies I've reviewed so far on my channel that actually had me curious as to how it ended. I'm not into show choir or musicals or anything of that nature. Never have been and never will be, but for what it's worth, this is probably one of the best Nickelodeon original movies out there. Definitely better than Best Player, that's for sure. I think what makes this movie interesting to me is that it was kind of the complete opposite to the other content on Nickelodeon at the time. Oftentimes in shows like iCarly and Drake and Josh, you would see characters like the show choir and Spectacular get made fun of or bullied and stuff, even though they didn't do anything wrong. And although we see that plenty of times in this movie, the people who are making those jokes are now signed to a record label because of them, so you kind of have no choice but to respect them now. I like that. Nico kind of carried this movie character-wise. I wasn't really feeling anyone else. I guess besides the movie. One thing I did appreciate about the movie, however, is that yes, obviously Nico and Courtney like each other, but this movie really was not a romance. It had elements of romance in it, of course, but like, it didn't necessarily focus on it, which is a nice change of pace. I guess my main issue with this movie is just how incredibly average and forgettable it was. It's not bad, but there aren't any qualities that stick out in it. I mean, respectfully, even the actors don't stick out. when you look at the poster, I don't know if it's just me, but everyone in the cast just all looked like side characters. They did a fine job, but if Nickelodeon was trying to use this movie to compete with High School Musical, they should have added some more flavor to these characters.
They should.
The soundtrack was pretty good, though. I might unironically add some of these to my playlist. Okay. But yeah, man, Spectacular, I feel like it had potential, and with a few tweaks in the story and some of the casting choices, I think this would have made a pretty decent movie, at least for a children's TV. I will give this film a 5 out of 10. Not horrible, could have been worse, but it also could have been slightly better if there was a bit more depth added to it. But at the end of the day, those are just my thoughts on the movie. I want to know what you guys thought about Spectacular, if you even remember it. Let me know in the comments below. I also want to hear what other movies you guys want me to cover in the future. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. I'm Mr. Nostalgia, and I'm out for now. Peace.
Alright, bye Mr. Nostalgia. Well, that was a fun video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Have a good